Here's where I'm at right now. Since the death of Charlie Kirk when he was assassinated, I just been seeing all sorts of ugly responses. Aside from the cheering and gleefulness that some people had engaged with, I'm also seeing people say they did this. And I want to break down the they of that, right? They being the left. The reality is that one single individual did this, right? Not an entire massive group of people. The left didn't take away Charlie Kirk. That individual did. We can discuss, and I have discussed, the reactions from some of the people and what that says and the sickness of that. But that is a separate topic. And I am watching these arguments about who's more violent, the left or the right. The right thinks it's the left, obviously, and the left thinks it's the right. Now I can bring up statistics and say, well, there's more instances of property damage that come from the left. The shattering of businesses, burning down of buildings, the Molotov cocktails that were launched at Tesla dealerships and so on. And meanwhile, on the right, there are more incidents of fatalities. And I can use statistics to back these things up. But reality is, it doesn't really matter. Because when you take the left or you take the right, you're talking about so many people with so many different views and ideologies and ideas. There's some incredibly radical people in each of these groups with which other people in that subset don't agree with at all, right? There's so many different types of people. There are communists, there are anarchists. Within those groups, there's different subset groups who believe different things. There are socialists, there are liberals, there are centrists, and many, many, many more groups. And it's the same with the right. If I were to say every neo-Nazi crime that is committed and attribute that just to the right, most of whom I'd like to think denounce those kinds of people completely, share nothing with them. Is it really right for me to attribute things done by these specific individuals in this very small subset to the whole group of people who, again, I've watched the disagreements amongst conservatives, Republicans, MAGA, populists, however they want to identify themselves. There's so many disagreements, major disagreements, fierce in-group fighting, which frankly is pretty healthy because, do you really want to be, if you're a conservative, do you want to be on the same page as neo-Nazis or people like that? No, right? And it's the same thing within the left where, a lot of people don't share the same views as these kinds of fringe groups. And again, even these fringe groups don't share the same views as each other. So I think it's a highly unhelpful thing to go, well, there's more crime on this side or that side. This side is violent, that side is violent. Instead of looking at the exact source of where that violence is coming from. Who are the exact people? What is motivating them? What is their ideology? How specific can we get when it comes to identifying the problem? And that's the thing. I think we've gotten used to lazy shorthands. We just put people in categories and we lack the specificity with which to actually say what it is that is troubling us. What is it that we don't like? Oh, that guy's a commie. Okay. What specific policy do you disagree with this particular person on? Oh, this is a right-winger, white supremacist. Okay. What's the exact thing that this person says that makes you so uncomfortable? But specificity requires effort, work, thought, and we're used to quick sound bites and not doing that work. Well, I'm here to say to you, do the work. Because if we don't identify things in a very specific manner, then we further divide ourselves. We further sow chaos. And instead of focusing on resolving certain issues, we inflame them and make them worse.